My name is Rafael Gomez, and I have been an URBA driver in Manila for over 5 years. I've seen all kinds of passengers, from drunk students, stressed office workers, and cheating spouses sneaking around at midnight, but nothing ever prepared me for what happened on the night of August 14th, 2022. I've only told a handful of people this story. Some believe me while most people don't. But after everything I've gone through, the sleepless nights and the nightmares, I still have the feeling that something still lingers around my car, even as I'm telling you this story, and I think it's time to talk about it. So if you're listening, keep your lights on, because I swear to you, every word I'm about to say actually happened. It was a rainy Sunday night, the kind where the sky is so dark it feels like midnight, even though it's only 8 p.m. I had just finished dinner at a roadside carinderia and was waiting inside my car for the rain to stop. Then I saw something towards the windshield, like tiny fingers tapping with impatience. Business had been slow for a week, so even though the weather was terrible, I decided to drive until at least 2 a.m. Rainy nights usually brought good fares. People didn't want to walk, taxis were full, and URBA drivers like me earned overtime in silence. Then I opened the app online and was ready for business. Within 30 seconds, I got a booking. But when I saw the destination, I was very bothered. I mean, who books a ride to a cemetery at 11 p.m.? But I shrugged it off. People have their reasons, including night shift workers, security guards, and caretakers. The rain was getting worse, so the sooner I picked someone up, the sooner I could finish my shift, so I clicked Accept Ride on the URBA app. Then I went to pick the passenger with the location she shared on the URBA app. But that night, I noticed that the street was very darker than usual. Most houses had their lights off, and the street lamps suddenly went off. My wipers struggled against the thick curtain of rain, and the road looked like a shallow river. The pin on the map led to an intersection beside an abandoned store. I looked around but didn't see anyone at first. Then I saw her. She was standing under the tattered awning of the store, a woman in a long, pale dress, soaked to the knees. She wasn't holding an umbrella, and she wasn't even trying to shield herself from the rain. She just stood there, hands limp at her sides, her head slightly lowered as if she had been waiting longer than she should have. I rolled down my window halfway. "Hey, ma'am, did you book a ride?" I asked. Slowly, she lifted her head. Her face was surprisingly fair, smooth and elegant. Not young, but not old. Her eyes were the first thing I noticed. Dark, almost too dark, as if her irises swallowed any light that touched them. "Yes," she said softly. "For the cemetery." Her voice was calm. I mean, too calm. The type of calm that feels empty. I unlocked the doors. She slid into the back seat without another word. Immediately, I noticed something strange. She carried nothing. No bag, no phone in her hand, nothing at all. Just the dress she wore, which looked outdated, like something from 2 decades ago. But people wear strange things. Maybe she had her reasons. "Please put your seatbelt," I reminded her gently. She didn't move. For a moment, the back seat was silent, except for the raindrop. Then she whispered to me, "It won't matter." That sent a small fear down my arms. I chuckled awkwardly to break the tension. "All right, ma'am, we'll get going." I put the car into drive. The roads leading to north were nearly empty, just occasional headlights gliding past like ghosts. The storm intensified, and the wind howled against the car, making it sway slightly, but she didn't. She just sat frozen in the back seat, staring straight ahead. Not once did she glance out the window, not at the raindrops racing across the glass, not at the passing street lamps. It felt like driving someone who wasn't fully there. I cleared my throat. "Ma'am, just to confirm, the drop-off is North Cemetery Gate 3, right?" "No," she answered. "You have to drive me inside." I nearly missed the break at the intersection. "Inside the cemetery?" "Yes." She said it like she was asking to be dropped off at a mall, or just a normal place at nearly midnight. In the middle of a storm, I forced a polite smile she couldn't see. "Is someone waiting for you?" "Yes." That eased me a bit. Maybe a caretaker or a relative lived inside, some of them do. But then she added, "They've been waiting a long time." Her tone didn't carry emotion, not sadness, not urgency. Just, fact, about 15 minutes into the ride, the smell changed. At first, I thought it was the damp smell of rainwater. But no, this was different, heavy and rotting, like flowers left too long in a sealed coffin. I subtly checked if maybe my air freshener had spilled. Nope. Everything was fine on my end. I glanced at the mirror. She was staring straight forward. But something was wrong. Her dress looked wetter than before. Not from rain. From the neckline down to her chest, the fabric looked darker, as though soaked by something thicker, something that wasn't water. I blinked hard. Maybe it was just shadows. "Ma'am, are you okay back there?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. "Driver," her voice was slightly louder this time. "Do you believe the dead can travel?" Goosebumps shot through my arms. "Ma'am!" She finally turned her head toward the mirror. Her eyes met mine, and I swear, fear gripped me for a second. Those eyes weren't normal. They were hollow, like two deep wounds where eyes should have been. Lightning flashed outside. Her face returned to normal, just tired and pale, almost like I imagined it, but my heart was pounding, because I knew I didn't imagine it. By the time we reached North Cemetery, the rain had calmed into a steady drizzle. Gate 3 was closed, which wasn't surprising at that hour. Only the main entrance had security. "Ma'am, the gate is locked. We need to go to the main entrance." "No." She pointed to a smaller side gate near the perimeter wall. To my shock, it was wide open. And I mean wide open, like someone had purposely swung it all the way back to let a car through. "Ma'am, that's not a road for vehicles," I said, trying to sound firm but respectful. "It's dangerous to enter." "Just drive." Her voice sharpened. The softness vanished. This time it almost sounded layered. As if more than one person spoke, I felt my breath hitch. "Ma'am, you should call whoever's waiting for you. Maybe they can meet you here." Meanwhile, there was no signal that someone were waiting for her. She leaned slightly forward. "But they know I'm coming." My neck tingled with a cold electric sensation. Something was very, very wrong. But refusing her suddenly felt impossible, like an unseen pressure pushed toward me, urging me to obey. My hand moved on its own. I steered toward the open gate. If you've ever driven inside a cemetery at night, let me tell you, it's nothing like in the movies, it's worse. The roads are narrow, packed with mausoleums and cramped houses where caretakers and families sometimes live. But that night, the place felt abandoned, too quiet, too still. My headlights illuminated rows of aging tombs and small structures with peeling paint. Rainwater dripped from the roofs like thick tears. I checked the mirror again. She was smiling, a small, thin, unnatural smile. "Stop here," she said. We weren't near any house, just a narrow path surrounded by tombs, no lights, no people around. "Ma'am, I can't stop here. It's too dark, and the ground is flooded. Stop!" This time, something in her tone made my entire body go cold. My foot hit the brake. The car stopped in the middle of the road. She slowly reached the door handle, but before she opened it, she said something that made every hair on my body rise. "They'll be happy to see you, too." I stared at her in the mirror. "What?" She stepped out, and that's when something moved in the darkness. Not one thing, not two. Dozens, shapes, figures, standing between the tombs, watching, and then the car engine died. Like and subscribe to this channel now to find out what happened next in the second part of this story.